We'll begin informal session, and we have a presentation from the Water Department, Water, Wastewater, to chat with us about capital improvement plans for the next 5 years. Mr. Bloom?
I'm Lyle Bloom. I'm the director with the Water Resource Department. I have Chris Rowland with me. He's the assistant sanitary engineer, and Chris is actually in charge of the construction and engineering division. They manage all of our capital projects, and they manage the capital improvement plan. So Chris updates the capital improvement plan every year. He actually prepared this presentation for me to present. So this plan.
You're the one we thank or blame, right?
Both.
But this plan's updated annually, and this will be our annual update to the board. It'll be followed probably next week in session by formal resolutions that will formally adopt our capital improvement plan. So just to recap a little bit of 2014 construction activities or expenditures, as usual, a majority of our expenses for our capital plan was for construction. On the water side, over 90% was towards construction projects. The two largest being the State Route 132 water main replacement and the Ward's Corner water main replacement projects. On the sewer side, we spent about 84% on construction, the largest being the Shallow Run Segment A sewer replacement. We also eliminated 2 lift stations as well last year. The Turnberry and Tanglewood lift stations were eliminated. We have a total of 41 projects in the water capital improvement plan and a total of 44 in the sewer capital improvement plan. I'm not going to go through each one of those in this presentation. I'm going to focus mainly on construction and design activities for 2015, and the design activities for 2015 will dovetail into construction activities for 2016. Some of the projects we're working on in 2015. This one's a carryover from 2014. We started the PUB water treatment plant surge protection improvements in 2014. We're installing 2 surge tanks, bladder surge tanks. They'll be installed in the front of the facility. These are about 21 feet long with a 9-foot diameter, so they're large tanks. They're being installed to address water hammer issues that we've had at the treatment plant. During power flickers or power outages, the pumps they suddenly stop when we're pumping from the PUB water treatment plant up to the Locust Corner booster station. That causes water hammer in our distribution system, and we end up experiencing main breaks. Construction started in fall of last year and will be completed this summer. Total estimated costs are just over $1.2 million.
So that's a giant piece like the one that's on my hot water heater.
Yes, exactly.
We have them on our hot water heater at home. They're about that big around. That one's the giant version.
We'll also be continuing construction on a dewatering project. We're constructing a permanent biosolids dewatering facility at our Middle East Fork wastewater treatment plant. Currently, we have a portable centrifuge that's used for dewatering at Middle East Fork, at our 9 Mile wastewater treatment plant, and at our Urbana treatment plant. This will allow permanent installation at Middle, and then that portable will still be used between the 9 Mile and the Urbana treatment plant.
You still have the drying beds there?
They do. They don't use those for the biosolids. What they'll do is they'll take anything that the Vactors haul out will be dumped there.
Okay.
And they allow that stuff to air dry. Total project costs on this project are estimated at $790,000, and it'll be completed this summer as well. We are also doing some roofing projects. In Pierce Township, we're replacing the roof on the PUB water treatment plant. Total estimated cost on that is $260,000. That will be completed this year. And in Batavia Township, the Bob McEwen water treatment plant roof replacement. We're replacing the roof over the main control building, the chlorine building, and the high service pump station. And that will also be completed this year. Estimated cost on that's $378,000. This is an ongoing project that we intend to do every year. It's our collection system rehabilitation. We identify sewers that are deteriorated and manholes that are deteriorated in our collection system through the CCTV program. We then identify all those in a set of drawings. We prepare the drawings in-house and the specifications in-house, and we bid those out for contractors to reline and rehabilitate the collection system. This is done in lieu of complete replacement of the collection system. So we've
CCTV you're talking about is closed circuit.
closed circuit television.
Not to be confused with our Clermont County television.
Correct. This is not, people don't want to watch this stuff.
Could be fun, you know, reality
right.
TV.
I get motion sickness real easy, and I have to turn my head when I'm watching them sometimes because it's, So we're replacing a 21-inch sewer that runs parallel with the Clermont County Airport. We're replacing a portion of sewer just north of Shaler Road. It's downstream of a force main discharge. It's on Clough Pike. And actually, we had identified that last year as a candidate to be replaced. Then late in the year last year, actually, a portion of the sewer collapsed. So we had to do an emergency repair. So we were just shy of getting to that one in advance of it collapsing. We knew it was a problem. We just weren't able to get it out to bid quick enough. We're also replacing some of the sewer in the Presidential Estates subdivision. It's also downstream of a force main discharge. And then in Pierce Township, off of 9 Mile, Davis Road, Michael Drive, Mark Court, and Aldor Lane, we have several force mains that discharge in that area. The collection system conveys to the 9 Mile treatment plant, but we've had a lot of deterioration. We did have some sewer collapse in that area as well, but we'll be rehabbing all of that. So along the bottom, you have some nice before-after photos. Obviously, on the left shows all the deterioration. We see a lot of the deterioration in the concrete and asbestos cement pipes, and particularly pipes that are downstream of our force main discharges. So this year's work will be rehabbing about 13,000 feet of sewer. That includes laterals, cleanouts, and the associated manholes. And we've got a plan in place to do this annually. In 2016, we have a budget of $2 million for rehabilitation. In 2017 through 2019, we have budgets of $2.35 million for each year for rehabilitation.
When they rebuild, could you say that, how they actually go about resurfacing the inside of that concrete?
On the sewer pipe, it's a liner. It's a cured in place lining. They call it CIPP, and it's a polyethylene lining. And on the manholes themselves, it's a spray in. I think it's epoxy liner they spray in. So they go in and they'll remove all the loose concrete on the inside of the manholes, and then they'll spray in this liner.
What's the useful life of that?
It's going to be similar to a PVC pipe, so close to 80 years on that. And we'll do this in areas where we don't have capacity issues. If we've got an area where we're lacking sewer capacity, then we'd either have to do what's called pipe bursting, where they can enlarge the size of the pipe through trenchless methods, or we'd have to do an actual open excavation and dig and replace for those. This is my favorite project, probably Suki's also. We plan to go through a complete upgrade to our water metering system throughout the county. We currently have about 42,000 customers. We read each of their meters, or attempt to read each of their meters on a bi-monthly basis. So every 2 months, we have 4 meter readers. I had some notes here. So that with the 4 meter readers, and when we take out vacation and sick days and holidays, they have to read about 300 meters each day. It's quite a challenge, especially with snowfalls and weather events that really prevent them from reading. So we're going to replace the entire meter and put a new register on and a transmitter unit for 25,000 of our meters. Those would be meters that were installed before the year 2000. Water meters themselves are usually good for about 15 years before they start to lose accuracy. Those meters, we've actually sampled portions of those and have identified that some of them are about 95% accuracy. So we're actually losing some revenue with the inaccurate meters. So this will help with our revenues.
We'll actually be charging for what we produce, what we deliver,
Correct.
rather than undercharging.
And we've actually, what we see is that the meters, when they get older, they won't register any water used at very low flows. So at about a quarter gallon a minute, which would be leaky toilet, leaky faucets, things like that, it doesn't even register. So the customer doesn't know, we don't know. So they may start to be able to identify some of these leaky fixtures and throughout the system.
So they're going to be surprised when they see an increase in their bill.
Yes, but we'll get to that
But it
too.
may not be much.
So the newer meters, we're just going to replace the register, which is the black thing on top of the meter, and then put a transmitter unit that will be remotely read. Total estimated cost of this is about $7 million. One benefit with it, what's called an AMI system, is advanced metering infrastructure, that we can continually be gathering meter data, so that if a customer does have a leak, right now we might not know for up to 2 months because it's in between reads. And if they develop a leak the day after we read the meter, we're not going to see it for 2 months. So this system, what's that?
I experienced.
Correct, yes. So this system will be able to notify us, and then we can notify the customer that there's been if it sees continuous usage on the meter. Most people don't use water 24 hours a day, and if it sees that consumption occurring, it can notify us. The capabilities are there to notify us. We can notify the customer that there's something going on in your house. You may want to check for leaks. And we
This
can
will
do
be
that.
the same thing like the smart meters.
Correct. Similar to what Duke has on their gas meters and electric meters now. So we're going to get meters or our reads on a more timely basis. We won't need to estimate our meter reads anymore. And it's going to eliminate some of the hazards that are created. You know, our guys are removing the meter lid every 2 months out there. They don't get locked down completely all the time. So we've had customers fall in the lids. And it creates problems with the meter readers themselves, that continuous motion of opening meters, 300 a day, it starts to wear on your body. So it'll eliminate all of that.
So the data collection, do you have to drive by, or will it be more remote than that?
We don't know. Our goal is an AMI, which would be, we would not require the drive-by.
Okay.
We're going to go out for proposals and see what vendors have to offer. With the terrain and topography we have here, we may have some areas that we still have to drive by to collect the reads, but it would eliminate the need of physically getting out,
Right.
opening the meter, and reading.
I was looking at your diagram. It looks like we think it may transmit to towers.
That's our goal. That's what we'd like
Okay.
to see. And there's companies out there that they tell us that they should be able to get like 99% coverage just using our towers to put the radios on. We'll also be starting construction on the Woodville Pike water main replacement. Actually, the bid opening for this project is tomorrow. We'll be replacing over 10,000 feet of original cast iron water main that was installed in 1959. We'll be replacing that with ductile iron water main. We've had a bunch of water main breaks along that section of Woodville Pike. This will also dovetail into the next project, which will start either later this year or next year, and it'll be on the next slide. But we'll continue with water main replacement up 132 along Short 48 and then down State Route 28. Estimated cost on this project is $2.35 million. We did receive over $750,000 in grant funds for this through Ohio Public Works Commission. So this will, the next project in Goshen Township is the State Route 132, 48, and 28. It shows construction activity this year. That will depend upon our ability to acquire all the easements for the project. The funding will become available this year. It is also funded partially through Ohio Public Works Commission. We did receive a grant over $750,000 for that. That will replace about the same length of water main still. It's the old 1959 cast iron, and a portion is 1964 cast iron. Again, we've had a ton of main breaks along that section, And total estimated cost on that is just over $2 million as well.
On the 48, that's short 48.
Correct.
So you're doubling the size of the pipe, which more than doubles the capacity.
Correct.
Are we under? Under?
Is what it's going to allow us. This empties into a 12-inch main on Gaynor Road right near our Gaynor tank. So it's going to allow us to transmit water to the Gaynor tank.
Okay.
And allow us to maintain water pressure in that
And
area.
certainly the fire department will be very happy
Correct.
about the increase.
We'll improve fire flow, definitely.
Significantly.
Which also includes your, what's it called, ISO?
Yeah,
And
improves the
so that could be
ISO
lower
rating.
insurance for the residents, too.
Could be.
Next project we plan to start construction on it's in Miami Township. It's a Miamiville sewer extension. And this was a project initiated by Miami Township. They're going to be paying a majority of the costs associated with this. We have a memorandum of understanding that's been approved by both the Miami Township Board of Trustees and the Clermont Board of County Commissioners. It involves installing about 2,500 feet of sewer. It'll be going down to it's called the AIM property. It's the former Hilltop Research property, and there's a new development going in, and they've requested public sewer. It will also, the township wanted to include extensions down Riverview Lane and Bedan Lane to serve the property owners there. The sewer along Loveland, Miamiville, and 126 will be oversized. The county, the Water Resource Department will be paying the costs associated with the oversizing, and that'll be done so that we can extend it to other areas in the future, and we'll still have capacity in that newly installed sewer. So there were 12 easements required. We've acquired 8 of them on that project, so we have 4 more remaining, and total estimated cost on that's just over $1 million.
And AIM has moved into their new headquarters and using it on the existing
There was an
on-site
existing
system?
package plant there, correct?
And so they're utilizing that and they are operational?
Correct.
Yep.
We'll also begin construction on improvements to 2 of our water booster stations. They're both in Miami Township. We'll be renovating Booster Pump Station 1, which will allow us to pump from the 860 zone to the 930 zone from our MGS water treatment plant. Currently, we pump from the 860 all the way to the 990, so it's going to eliminate 60 feet ahead at our treatment facility. We then backfeed from the 990 down into the 930 zone. So it's going to save on electric bills at the MGS water treatment plant. In addition, this project, renovation of both, primarily Booster 1, was recommended in the water quality modeling report that was prepared by Hazen and Sawyer in 2013. So we'll be able to basically, all of the 860 and the 930 zones will all be MGS groundwater. It's going to help reduce water age in those systems. There won't be any, on a typical day, won't be any backfeed of Bob McEwen, the
Well, it's
BMW
nice 'cause
surface water.
Less flow
Correct.
and less area to have flow.
We'll also be renovating in Batavia Township at our Middle East Fork treatment plant. We'll be renovating the roofs on the grit building and screen building. It's complete replacement of the roofs. They're completely deteriorated. A lot of hydrogen sulfide gases in those buildings, and it's a metal roof with metal structural supports, and they've completely deteriorated.
Dealt with that in session a few weeks ago.
Correct. And that will also start this year, and that estimated cost on that's just over $400,000. This project is continuing from 2015. It's the Ivy Point and Eichholz Road water and sewer installation. The sewer installation is complete. It goes from the roundabout, the first roundabout, if you're heading south, or actually, I'm sorry, it's the second roundabout if you're heading south on Ivy Point. And we've installed a new sewer. This is in coordination with the Transportation Improvement District. We've installed a new sewer through there that will help with sewer capacity issues in that area. We'll also be installing a new water line. There's currently no water line following that route. And then the TID will be installing a roadway that's going to connect the roundabout up to Eichholz Road. estimated cost on the sewer is $360,000, and the water project, there's some cost sharing going on there, is $75,000. We'll also be, with all the road work going on throughout the county, they typically involve water relocations. We'll be relocating, it's actually under construction now, water line along State Route 28 from Branch Hill Guinea to Smith Road. The TID intends to start widening along Old 74 from Olive Branch Stonelick to Armstrong Boulevard. That will involve water main replacement and some force main relocation as well. And then all the improvements at State Route 32 and I-275 have involved some water main relocations. In all, we're estimating over 12,000 feet of of water to be relocated, and an estimated cost of $2 million on those. This year we'll begin design, or actually we'll continue design in Newtonsville. We're working on a project to provide public sewer to the village of Newtonsville and immediate surrounding area. The preliminary engineering reports completed. That began in 2013. Ohio EPA has published their anti-degradation notice, and that's gone through its hearing process with no comments. And they'll be issuing a draft NPDES, National
Discharge.
Elimination System. Yes. Brain cramp. That will allow us to locate our wastewater treatment plant, a packaged wastewater treatment plant. We have an agreement from the village to locate the treatment plant on property that they own. And so we anticipate getting a permit from Ohio EPA for that discharge permit. Once that's acquired, then we can move into formal detailed design of the collection system and the treatment plant
So
itself.
will you be able to go outside more? Because I mean, Wayne Township being so flat, you know.
It's not intended to be a regional treatment plant. It is intended mainly just to serve this project area. There may be some opportunity for small extensions, but it's not going to be a large regional facility to serve a lot of the agricultural property around there now. We'll also continue with design of a sewer replacement through the village of Bethel. We're replacing sewer that was originally installed in 1941, so it's about 75 years old. The drawings on that are about 90% complete. We anticipate acquiring right-of-way in 2015 and begin construction in 2016. So we'll be replacing about 7,300 feet of that old sewer through
So
there.
does Bethel provide their own sewer, or we provide sewer to Bethel, or how does that work?
We took over their system in the 80s, I believe,
Okay.
late 80s. And a similar situation to the village of Batavia. Actually, EPA, I believe, ordered them to discontinue. They had a treatment plant that discharged into Harsha Lake ultimately, and it had a lot of problems, and the county assumed that collection system. We installed a lift station that it actually pumps all the way down 125 now into our Middle East Fork collection system.
Okay.
Do you still have that, what was it, a booster station over at Foozer?
The Foozer lift station is still there. Yeah, that's one that it's at a low point that drains to Harsha Lake, so they're always going to have to pump any of the wastewater that flows to that point. So it will always be there until Harsha Lake's gone, and I don't see that happening. So
And there's no more odor?
from Foozer, no. We've got bioxide at I'm pretty sure all of our lift stations that we use to control odors. And I have not heard of any odor complaints from Foozer at all. That was many, many years ago, from what I understand.
Good.
That was up at the intersection of 125 and
Right.
132. Yes. We'll also be working on design activities in 2015 on the water system SCADA. It's an outdated SCADA system. We hope to put it on the same platform that our sewer SCADA is on, so use the same software for that. It's mainly going to be a software upgrade with that. We'll be working on the design. We intend to do this design in-house. The Ward's Corner water main replacement would be east of Branch Hill Guinea. We replaced the water main west of Branch Hill Guinea last year, so we'll be proceeding with design east of Branch Hill Guinea this year. We'll be working on design for upgrades to the Beachmont South, Nagel, and Nature Run lift stations. And then we have,
Come back to Ward's Corner.
yes,
East is toward Loveland, right?
yes.
And how far that direction are you improving the water mains?
Palmer Drive.
To Arnold Palmer Drive, so it's a couple thousand feet.
Right around there.
Yeah, okay.
It'll take care of the area where we've had a bunch of
Yes,
main breaks.
that's what I thought. Okay.
Okay, so we'll be upgrading 3 lift stations, working on design for upgrades to 3 lift stations. And then we have a section of sanitary sewer in the Hall Run stream that's become exposed. We've got a sewer lateral that's exposed in the stream. So we're going to be we've left it open with the description of the project. We'll either do stream restoration to help protect the sanitary sewer, or we may consider relocating it outside of the stream entirely.
I mean, it just looks like a big albatross thing just sitting right in the middle.
Yeah, we've got, Shaler Run, we had the issues with that over the years. We finally completed the project to relocate that entire trunk sewer out of the stream. And Hall Run isn't as bad. It's got small areas that are exposed in the stream bed and put it at risk of failure, especially during heavy rain events. So we'll try to mitigate that before we go through with a large, complete tunnel project, I'll call it. EPA, it's bad practice to put sewers in the stream.
Yeah, very
You won't get a permit for
reasonable
it.
when it was done to the people that were doing it.
Sure.
But no
Flows
longer,
downhill.
I mean,
no longer good practice.
Yeah, you still can do it. There's proper methods.
Correct.
You can do that. So anyway.
We'll also begin, we completed a wastewater master plan a couple years ago, and they've identified areas throughout our collection system that could be problematic for sewer capacity. 2 of the highest priority areas they identified were the Urbana trunk sewer and the Shaler Run. We're calling it the Shaler Run upstream sewer upgrade. This is the sanitary sewer for Shaler Run. It runs along Shaler Road. So we'll do a sewer system evaluation study. It's going to include flow monitoring, try to identify, because the capacity issues are related to wet weather. We're going to try to identify where the rainwater is getting into the collection system, try to eliminate that, and if we're unable to do that, then we'll have to move forward with collection system replacement to be able to convey the wastewater downstream during these heavy rain events. Shaler Run, we really want to try to focus on just eliminating the inflow and infiltration. That sewer was only installed in the mid-90s, so it's not that old of a sanitary sewer, but we still get a significant amount of inflow and infiltration into that. So that sums up the projects that we will be working on this year and into 2016. And we'll talk a little bit about funding for our entire 5-year plan. From 2015 through 2019, on the water side, we have almost $24 million available in funding. That does assume a rate increase on the water side, which we'll have a presentation here shortly with Suki Sheets to discuss a proposed rate increase. It includes $1.6 million in grant and a $3.5 million contribution from the wastewater fund. That would be for the water meter replacement project. That was a $7 million project. We use the water meters to bill for sewer, so the cost of that is being split between the water and sewer funds. With the rate increase, the 5-year plan is funded 100%. If the rate increase is not completed, it won't be funded 100% in year 2017.
So, well, then the funding, 23,000 over that 5-year period is coming in revenue from
From our customers, correct. Yes, and it's 23 million, yeah.
bonds or anything?
Well, there are, no new bonds, no new bonds. We've issued bonds in the past. On the wastewater side, we have available funding. We have just over 38 million in available funding for 2015 through 2019, and includes a $900,000 grant. That one is the one that we plan to apply for to help fund the Newtonsville sewer project and to help offset the assessments for that project, and includes, again, a $3.5 million contribution to the water capital fund. The 2019, it will show a small gap in funding there, but we anticipate through public bidding, we'll get lower bids. These are all estimated costs. We'll get lower bids on projects, and that we could actually get some additional grant funding to help close that gap in 2019. And, excuse me, that's all I have on the capital improvement plan. The entire plan, once it is approved, will be placed on our website as well, where customers can go and look at our projects that we have planned for the next 5 years.
Good.
Questions?
Questions?